I was born in Finland, in the middle of Finland, and I'm writing in Finnish, but I'm half Estonian myself, and half Finnish. My father is Finnish and my mother is Estonian. It's a small country that have been occupied from one power and then another again and then another again, and also even before there have been always foreign rulers in the country. The traveling to Estonia was quite difficult. There were only certain relatives who could make the invitation, and naturally the invitation and all the documents had to be done in Russia. And then if the invitation was accepted, there was very strict rules about what kind of person and how close blood relation we had to have. So there was only actually one person who was able to make the invitation. And when the invitation, if it was accepted, then we could apply for visa, and if the visa was accepted, then we had the possibility of traveling to Estonia. At that time, only capital was allowed for tourists, but then we went to the western part of Estonia, where my family have been living for centuries. But then again, we were only allowed to go to the city and not to the countryside. There were no model collective farms over there, and that was quite interesting. At that time, it was quite interesting area because it was also the border of Soviet Union, and also a very military area. It was the period of very strong censorship. So all the letters were censored naturally, and also the phones were tapped. So it was not actually possible to talk about the real events over the phone, and also ordering a call to Soviet Union was quite complicated as well. So if you wanted to have a real discussion with the family or friends, then anyway you needed to meet people face to face. And so when we had the possibility of meeting people in real life, then the days were of course filled with discussions and talking, lots of talking. And I was quite a good listener. So when I published my first novel, Stanis Chaos, which is out in Spanish as well, that's when I actually started to think that actually I have learned the Estonian history and everything actually about the country by listening. So Estonian history, and also Estonians themselves, they learned the Estonian history through oral memory and oral tradition, because school books, everything was under propaganda. The history of occupation in Estonia, as I guess in quite many countries, includes lots of stories where people are betrayed because of very, tiny things. People are scared, everybody is scared, and then people want to save themselves, and if you don't have a lot of money, for example, then anyway you have to give somebody to the new power to in a way for evidence or proof that I'm on your side in a way, even though you wouldn't be, mentally, but still you need to prove them that don't take me, take the other one. Now in Estonia, some people, for example, claim that it was obligatory to become a member of Communist Party. Well, that was not the case in real life. The party didn't want all the people to be party members. It was a sort of honor, or certain kind of people were accepted to the party. So in a way, you had to be, active in a way that occupying powers were expecting you to become a member, and that's now in a way there are people who are trying to wash in a way this membership of the Communist Party away, and saying that okay, I had no choice. I had no choice. I had to be. And of course, if you wanted to have a career, you needed to be the member. But anyway, that is a choice. You make the choice to have the career. You make the choice to be to have a better salary, for example. It is anyway a choice. It might be, understandable that, okay, it is human to want to have a better career, but still it is a choice you make in the end. In Estonia, there are so many families that have been separated, and that was, of course, one of the purpose of the Soviet Union and the occupying powers as well, because the families had to be split so that they would be weaker. For example, my grandfather was in the forest. Then his brother became a deporter, and one of the brothers was deported. So from the same family, there were those who became informants, those who became the victims of the terror, and then those who tried to resist. And it is, when you think about that, they have the same family background. And I don't know why some people are just, they have a different mental way or different psychological strength. The main character, Alida Tru, is desperately in a very obsessive way in love with the man who is hiding and has to hide in the house. I wanted to have another female character who has been suffering from the same kind of things, but who is obviously representing a different generation, a different background as well, and also has been victimized by a totally different power, not Soviet Union. I wanted to have something in the title that is referring to washing yourself. Because in Finnish, the word puhdistus and the verb puhdistaa refers to all kind of washing and cleaning. But on the other hand, there's when you refer to ethnical cleansings and Stalinist purges, then you use the same word as well. I noticed that the trauma reactions that are surprisingly similar in different places, then one of those reaction is that the victims tend to wash themselves all the time. They want to wash their hands, they want to bath, and they want to have showers all the time. This constant need for washing yourself in a very concrete way.